everyone. Welcome to Shell Point today for Monday, August 3rd. I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation. On today's show, we will head over to Ruth Deuber's kitchen, where she is preparing a delightful dish of asparagus. And Heather Battey of Resort Services will talk with Shelley Rogerson about a Health Connections class on the keys to successful hearing aids.
But first, we want to remind you that all this week is Money Week. That's right. The Legacy Foundation offers free 30-minute consultations with some of the leading tax, legal, investment, and insurance professionals of Fort Myers. Each day this week, they will focus on a specific financial topic with specialists on hand to address your needs and concerns. Today is Investment Review Day, and tomorrow is Estate Planning Day. For more information, be sure to contact Beth Crenshaw at the Legacy Foundation, 466-8484. You can also find a list of each day's topics in the August issue of Shell Point Life magazine.
If you enjoy reading books, then you'll also enjoy Wednesday's event entitled Books Are Fun. Even if you don't consider yourself to be a bookworm, you may also find interest in the games, toys, stationery, and gifts that will be available at competitive prices. It's all coming right here to Shell Point in the Grand Cypress Room. So make your way out to the Woodlands Commons from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. on Wednesday when these items, including books from favorite booksellers and online stores, will be available.
On Thursday, you can enjoy a trip just over the water to nearby Sanibel Island at Traders Cafe and Emporium for lunch. Traders also has a shopping emporium of jewelry, home accents, and gifts that provide fun post-meal browsing. Court pickups begin at 10:30 a.m. on our island, and the cost of the trip is $7 with lunch on your own. Oh, and don't forget to try the homemade bread, which is worth the trip all in itself.
It's time for some late summer cleaning. The Crystal Dining Room on the island will be closed starting today through this Saturday and again next Monday through August 16th. During this time, everything in the restaurant will be scrubbed, buffed, and cleaned until it is shiny as new. You'll still be able to dine at the Crystal next Sunday, August 9th, and then again after the 16th. Do you get all that? Also, don't forget to bring your passport dining card when you come. As one TV commercial used to say, don't leave home without it. For more information about passport dining plans, you can visit the Palm Grill, the Crystal, or pick them up at the administrative office on the island. And one more closing to note is the Cafe Promenade at the Woodlands, which is now closed through August 23rd.
Ruth Deuber found some nice small asparagus and thought it would be great to saute them for us on today's program in her recurring segment called What's Cooking?
Hello, this is Ruth Deuber and it's What's Cooking at Shell Point. And I think of asparagus as a spring dish, but it's great for summer. I went to the fresh market the other day and I found these little guys. And you don't very often find asparagus like this. I kind of forgot what I paid for it, but I can't remember, so it doesn't make any difference. So I'm going to saute some today. And I'm not going to use the whole bunch, but I am going to use part of it. And let's take the rubber band off here and there. Woo! And now they go all over the place. So I'm going to take about half of it. And I'll set those aside for later. And I'm going to rinse them. And then I am going to cut a little bit off the ends because they do look a little dried up. So we'll do that. Spread them out here. And we'll just take a little bit off the ends. Actually, I could save those for soup if I really wanted to. Well, we're going to put some butter in our pan here. I'm going to put these on the towel to dry a little bit. And we'll turn our burner on here. You know, this is real butter, but you know, you can use any substitute that you might want to. I have a friend who just uses olive oil all the time, and you know, that's okay too. And we'll put these little guys in there like this, and we'll turn some the other way. And there we go. Now I have it on pretty high heat, and it really won't take long to cook these at all. And you want to have a little bit of snap left in it, so. Okay. And a little fresh ground pepper. As you can see, the butter is starting to bubble a little bit, and it won't take long for this to get up to heat. Yeah, I want to keep moving these around because I don't want them to burn. Well, just a couple more minutes. Okay, that's about what I want. So we're going to turn the burner off, and we're going to go over to our plate. Now you could use any kind of a dressing. You could use a honey Dijon vinaigrette. This is just plain Italian dressing. And we're just going to drizzle a little bit over the top. And then we're going to take some Parmesan cheese. Okay, there you have it. You can serve it cold, or you can serve it really hot. I like it sort of room temperature, and it's really mighty good. If you can't get this tiny asparagus, you can use just regular asparagus. It would just take a little bit longer to cook. So I hope you'll try it. I think it's kind of good. I like the little bit of a crunch to it. So I'm going to put it up on the website, and I hope you want to try it. That is delicious. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Hearing aids are a wonderful invention that can improve hearing and provide an overall better listening experience. But not all hearing aids are the same. Just as there are different types of hearing loss, so are the variances in types and designs of hearing solutions. Heather Battey of Resort Services speaks with Shelley Rogerson about Wednesday's Health Connections class on keys to success with hearing aids. During the presentation, she will discuss proper design, fitting, and adjustment of hearing aids, as well as the different styles available. Here's Heather with more.
Hi, I'm Heather Battey, and today I'm here with Shelley Rogerson to introduce our upcoming Health Connection program, Keys to Success with Hearing Aids. Hi, Shelley.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself today?
Great.
Great. So we're going to be talking about the keys to success with hearing aids. What are some of the keys?
Well, it's about we'll be discussing getting, properly fitted with the right style of hearing aid for your type of hearing loss, and how to make adjustments when you are a new user to hearing aids, some of the steps that you can take that help make have the hearing aids adjust to you rather than you have to adjust to them so much in the beginning.
Okay, so there's different hearing aids you would use for which type. What are the kinds of hearing loss that you would address in this program?
Well, some people have like a high frequency type of hearing loss, and so they need something to just amplify the highs without giving volume, and that would help them, hear their voice less when they talk and things like that. And then we have in-the-ear styles of hearing aids, and very small ones for people who are very conscious, for someone that would see a hearing aid. So there's different styles for different cosmetic reasons and for different hearing loss types. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll also get into some of the things that you can do to help, adjust to becoming used to hearing with a hearing aid for the first time.
Right. Now, I do see some that are very, very small, and they just are going right into your ear. Are those the kind of hearing aids anybody can use, or are those for a specific type of hearing loss?
Well, it's for any type of hearing loss, but you have to be able to handle like a very tiny battery. So, sometimes the dexterity can come into be an issue. And then also how well you hear in the lower tones, like the bass tones, because if you have very normal bass tones but loss in the highs, then those might make you feel like you have your head stuffed up, like you have your head in a barrel. So certain hearing losses are better for those type of hearing aids, so it depends on your loss.
And you can do the hearing tests right here at the Arbor, is that correct?
Yep, we do all the testing and fitting. Everything can be done right there at the Arbor Medical Center.
And you are there when?
We're there Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, and it's best if you can call and make an appointment.
Okay, and you'll discuss all that at the upcoming program. So, if you're interested in keys to success with hearing aids, make sure you join Shelley Rogerson August 5th in the Oak Room at 2 p.m. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections, right after this Listening to the Words preview from David Howenstein.
Hello, I'm here to tell you about this week's Listening to the Words program, which highlights the words of only Shell Point writers. In his novel, The Nunca Riddle, Wally Kane has a teenage girl seeking the secrets of the Peruvian Amazon. Then Ann Wills remembers the complexities and beauty of clothesline drying way back in the day. Then Yvonne Schneff shares fond memories of her mother's school report card. Next, a nifty 9-year-old is remembered in a poem from a book titled Food for Thought by Ellie Jackson. Then I'll read from Peter DeLisser's Courageous Conversations book, in which two grown brothers settled a dispute they had as 8 or 9-year-olds. Sue Nelson thanks her two sons for how they remembered her with a box of tulips for Mother's Day. Then Nita DeWeese reads her own story about a bad hair experience that never stops. Then Joyce Rand finds herself writing a poem in a parking lot. Finally, I'll use sound to underline Jane Kennedy's poems on the beauties of a summer sunset. I'm your host, David Howenstein, reminding you that you can hear Listening to the Words 7 days of the week beginning today, and then that's twice each hour on Channel 12 at Shell Point. Thank you for listening to the Words.
Hello and welcome to the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Caitlin Van Scoy and I'm here with Bev Chanley, and we're going to let you know all of Monday's activities. Well, today is activity sign-up day, so make sure you go and sign up for your activities for the month of August. From 8 to 5 today, the mobile mammography will be here in front of the Village Church. At 8:45, we have virtual bowling in the Resident Activity Center. The men's round robin doubles tennis will be at the Woodlands Tennis Courts at 9 o'clock. At 9:15, billiards will be played at the Resident Activity Center. The Lollygaggers paddlers will head out at 9:15 for their weekly outing. They leave from the kayak storage. Our last 9:15 activity is pottery down in the pottery studio. At 10 o'clock, the Susie Q heads out to Matanzas on the Bay. You do need to sign up for that trip. The Parkinson's Enrichment Group will be meeting at 10:15 in the community room of King's Crown. And at 10:30, we have Disciple Men's Study Group. That'll be in the Woodlands Game Room. At 10:45, we have Table Tennis Clinic being held in the Tarpon Room. And our last morning activity is at 11:30, a Health Connections class, Bar Basics in the Health Club, and that's currently full. Here's Bev to tell you all about our afternoon.
Thank you, Caitlin. At 12 o'clock, it's time for Mahjong. That's played at the Sable Room at the Woodlands. And at 1:15, advanced table tennis will be available in the Tarpon Room. 1:15 is also the time for Samba, the card game sensation. That's at the Resident Activities Center. At 1:45, we have a Health Connections class. This one is Balance and Mobility Training Level 1, and that's in the Health Club, and it's currently full. At 5 o'clock, there will be a singles table available at the Crystal Dining Room. At 6:30, there's Duplicate Bridge. That's played in the game room of the Woodlands. Well, we're happy to see you here today, and we will see you back here again tomorrow.
Menus for Monday. The Crystal Room is closed from today, August 3rd, through Saturday, August 8th. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a mile-high corned beef sandwich with coleslaw for $7.75. The dinner special is tropical char-grilled pork loin with yellow rice and carrots for $8.75. And the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey. There was big news in Washington in the fall of '87. I wrote the story down at the time, sensing that there was a lesson that we could learn. Let me explain. President Reagan had nominated Douglas Ginsburg to serve as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. Ginsburg was a brilliant young appeals court judge and a former Harvard law professor with great promise. But wait. Someone claimed that the candidate had sometimes smoked pot. This forced Ginsburg to go public with the revelation that he had indeed smoked marijuana on occasion as a college student in the 60s and as a teacher in the 70s. Marijuana was the only drug I've ever used. I've not used it since, and it was a mistake. I regret it, he confessed. Fair enough. But political leaders quickly formed into different camps according to their convictions regarding Ginsburg's suitability for office. Reporters delighted in taunting both sides, one going so far as to suggest that Ginsburg had added new meaning to the term high court. Get it? Some leaders pointed out that half the population in Ginsburg's age group had experimented with pot. Presidential candidates Gore and Babbitt both admitted to having tried it, as did other politicians. A judge doesn't have to be a social virgin, they claimed. And Jesse Helms weighed in with, I suspect that everyone on the High Court has broken one law or another. But others took a harder line. They held firmly to their conviction that a man who has knowingly violated the law himself cannot be expected to adequately uphold the law for others. The president stood by his man, however. How many of us would like everything that we did when we were younger put on the book? He asked. He was not an addict, after all. While in spite of the support of the president, his argument in favor of his candidate had a hollow ring, as the court of public opinion weighed Ginsburg in the balances and found him wanting. So, on November 7th, 1987, just 36 hours after his confession, Ginsburg withdrew his name from consideration. A few puffs of marijuana had come back to haunt him, effectively disqualifying him from serving on the Supreme Court forever. In contrast, God, the righteous judge, never counts the sins of believers against them. When we repent and receive his gift of eternal life, he writes, forgiven and forgotten over our self-centered, self-righteous, sinful past. It has nothing to do with our resume or with our record. It's awarded by grace, not earned by works. Do you remember the story Jesus told about two men who went up to the temple to pray? One a Pharisee, the other a taxman. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed this way, I thank you, God, that I am not a sinner like everyone else, for I don't cheat, I don't sin, and I don't commit adultery. I'm certainly not like that taxman. I fast twice a week, and I give you 1/10 of my income. But the tax collector stood at a distance and dared not even lift his eyes to heaven as he prayed. Instead, he beat his chest in sorrow, saying, Oh God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, said Jesus, this sinner, not the Pharisee, returned home justified before God. And this is grace. No need to worry about those skeletons in our closet. Like Ginsburg, we might not qualify for the Supreme Court, but we can serve the Supreme King. And we start with a clean slate. Thank you for tuning in to Village Church Connections.
Well, that's going to wrap up today's program. Be sure to join us again tomorrow when Terry Koloth will discuss the Auxiliary Resident Relations Committee, and we'll show you some wonderful paintings created by our residents down at the Art Gallery that showcases America's beauty.
This has been Shell Point Today for Monday, August 3rd. I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation. On behalf of all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again here tomorrow.